Calgary's connection to the Hudson's Bay Company predates the city's incorporation. So with Canada's oldest company shuttering all but 6 stores, I wanted to look back at how the department store became this big presence in Calgary and look forward to what life without HBC could look like for the city.
There's going to be a big hole missing in downtown.
To see it go is, I think, going to be a sad thing.
Calgary's early European settlement started with Fort Calgary, established by the Northwest Mounted Police in 1875. Just 1 year later, even before the rail line went through here, this was built.
They had a trading post just east of the Elbow River, so kind of like where the Dean House Hunt House is now. It's interesting when you think about it, because when the CPR arrived, also around 1886, they built their depot west of the Elbow River. And so that is when Calgary basically moved from Inglewood to Stephen Avenue as our commercial core. And so the Bay has been a part of Stephen Avenue ever since then.
The 1891 sandstone building would have looked a lot more like today's big grocery chains, with dry goods, food, and some household items like carpets and cutlery. Here's a newspaper ad from that era selling milled flour and footwear. The sandstone building went through some renovations to accommodate the Bay's growth, but when Calgary's population skyrocketed between 1905 and 1911, that building just wasn't cutting it. That's when the work on the current downtown Hudson's Bay Company store started.
Right, the 1910s, 1920s were kind of a good time in Calgary. The age of optimism, right? You had the Roaring 20s when they expanded. Leading up to World War I, you had significant expansion, and downtown was the place to be. Through the 6 floors that they had here, they had over 10 acres of space, 40 departments, and a whole bunch of other amenities.
In its prime, the building had it all. You could leave your kids at the governess-supervised rooftop playground while you went down and got some shopping done. There was a beauty parlor, a smoking room, you could send mail and telegrams, and there was this new thing, an elevator, complete with an attendant.
The restaurant on the 6th floor had, I think, seating for 275 people. When you went out shopping, it was an outing. People dressed up, right? You'd wear your weekend best.
Traptoe says Calgary was also a major goods distributor. People ordering from catalogs between Winnipeg and Vancouver would see orders filled from Calgary.
Like the Amazon.
The Amazon of the day, absolutely, right? You could get a catalog and order what you wanted, and it would show up in the mail. And a lot of those mail orders would come from the Hudson's Bay warehouse in Calgary, which is still standing and is now the Hudson Lofts.
The downtown Bay building has seen many additions over the years, like the iconic arches called the Arcade. The building became this attraction inside and out.
I mean, it added to the vibrancy of downtown. You know, I think lots of Calgarians have stories of probably taking the train or the bus downtown with their friends and probably going to the Bay at one time or another and shopping, and just, I think everyone has a story, a memory of the downtown Hudson's Bay. It's such an iconic building, and I'd say it's one of the most architecturally significant buildings in the city of Calgary, with the Arcade, the Chicago style of architecture. There's nothing else like it in Calgary, really, than in Western Canada as well.
I grew up going to the Bay with my family, with my sisters. This is where we would get our clothing. This is where we would window shop after church. And I even had my wedding pictures taken here 20-some years ago. So kind of sad, actually.
It's kind of a shame it might be empty. I really don't know what they might want to put in here, but I hope they can get something else in here and people can frequent it.
And that kind of brings us to a big question. What is next for Calgary's downtown, a core that's struggled like many other cities across the country?
We're obviously concerned about the social inequity issues and encampments and the social issues we're dealing with downtown, and having a vacant space, large geographic like that, would be of concern. And we've mentioned those issues to the city, and I think we'll work on, potential solutions for that space. We need the footfall traffic that Hudson's Bay and these large retailers generate to obviously have eyes on the street, make sure that downtown is safe and inclusive for everybody. But it is that vibrancy that we're looking for.
And while the Downtown Association says overall business in the core has bounced back, in-person shopping hasn't.
And we need to make sure that there's a retail experience that everybody would say, hey, let's go downtown because this store is there or that store is there. Or, large festivals and events that are in the evening hours that support that vibrancy and where we need to be.
Liquidation of Calgary's historic downtown store, as well as other locations across the city, has started, with company-wide plans for the Hudson's Bay Company to vacate its stores by June 30th. Helen Pike, CBC News, Calgary.